Hi, this is Greg. I'm going to explain to you today how to, submit your verification for a local area code number. And that has to go through a process that is required by the US cell phone carriers called the 10DLC process. Okay, so it stands for 10-digit long code. And when you add a local number, you should see a pop-up, something like this that says just, if you had already done this for a toll-free, you have to do it again for a local number. So basically, you have to complete your trust verification form, which you can click on this link, or if you close it, you'll see this big red button that says verification required. So when you click on that button, it will take you to this form. And this is just sample data that I have entered. But the first thing that you see is these three radio buttons here. So if your business does not have an EIN number, then you're required to register as a sole proprietor. And that means that you're limited to 3,000 messages per day or less. That's all the carriers will allow you to send. Of course, you still need credits, to send that whatever you send out. So this is for businesses with no EIN number. The carriers, this is a carrier registration fee. The carriers charge a $19 one-time fee, which we would charge. You basically pass that on to you directly. And then they charge an additional $2 a month for a local number, for you to have a local number to send from. So if you don't want to pay these fees and monthly fees, then you switch back to a toll-free number. Okay. If your business does have an EIN number, you can choose from either low volume, which is less than 6,000 messages per day, or a standard volume, which is greater than 6,000 messages per day. And how many will be determined by your trust score that the carrier's verification process will assign you. And that's based on a number of factors. But the low volume is the same as the sole proprietor. It's $19 and $2 a month. The standard registration is a $59 one-time fee plus an additional $10 a month. Okay. So, and there are certain use cases that vary in prices, but on average, it's $10 a month. Okay, so the next thing you see is this little chart, which kind of explains the differences between them. Now, how to fill out the form. You want your legal business name and legal address, and this has to match, and I can't stress this enough, it has to match exactly what the IRS has. Okay, so if you have filed taxes, look at your tax form and what is the legal business name and address on your latest tax form, because they will verify that. Then they're gonna, what type of, company are you? A corp, a C corp, an S, whatever, a limited liability. You're gonna select that, and then you're gonna, select EIN, put your EIN number, select your industry, and then they want to see your website. You need to have a functioning website, especially for a business. If you're a sole proprietor, you can probably get away with like a Facebook like page or something like that, a social media page. But if you're a business, they want to see, a website. If you don't have a website, we can work with you to see, what we can do. Maybe a LinkedIn page, and it's possible. But if you have one, definitely put a website that's functioning. Okay, then your company is private. If you're on like the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange, then you can put public. If you have a nonprofit, pick that, or if you're a government agency, you can pick that. Okay, now at least one contact is required. It's a good idea if you have a business email at your domain that matches this domain. Definitely you want to use that, okay? Um, it's a lot it's going to be a lot easier to verify you other than you using, your Gmail or something like that. Authorization contact number 2 is optional. So it's up to you whether you want to put that. Then they're going to want to, what is your campaign type? So, for low volume, it's a mixed low volume, but you can pick, you know, charity. If you're a charity, obviously you want to pick charity. But their a customer care is one. You can see they're different prices, $10. Emergency, if you're a legitimate emergency organization like fire and rescue, higher education, you have to be a legitimate, higher a college or higher education. Um, Marketing, right? If you just want marketing, that would be typically what most people use. If you're going for a standard registration, but if you're doing low volume like I selected, it'll default you to the low volume, which is $2. Okay, then your campaign description. I give you an example here, which you could copy. Basically they want to know what type of messages you're going to be sending. And then they're going to want to see 2 sample messages. I give you an example right here. Um, it is a good idea, at least for for this application, to put, the proper reply stop to opt out, make the carriers happy with your application. Then they want to see your consent. Like, how do you get consent from the users? And this is very important. The standard way that most people do it is on their website, right? So in this example, users fill out a website contact us form, and they provide their phone number, and they agree to receive text messages from us. If you use keywords, you can put your keywords here and your response message, something like this here, but this is optional. Keywords are optional. So if you're using a form, and here's the different ways, you got verbal, web form, paper form, text form. And, just to let you know, like verbal, for example, they're going to want to see the verbal script. Like, what does your rep say? What do you say? Right. And that would only apply for, typically like appointment reminders, like if you're, doctor's offices and things like that. If you're doing marketing, verbal is not going to be good enough, right? They're going to want to see it in writing. So a web form, I give you the verbiage right here. Like if you have a web form on your website, add this verbiage to it, by providing your phone number, you agree to receive text messages from the name of your company, blah, 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 right? You put that on your website, upload a screenshot of it here. Obviously, they're going to go to your website and verify that it's really there as well. So make sure it matches. Um, you could do a paper form. So if you're a business that does some kind of, makes people sign a contract in person, then you can create a separate form that, takes people's name, phone number, makes them sign, date, and agree with similar verbiage to this, right? Um, and if you're doing by text, like text a keyword to something, they're going to want to see, there's examples. So if you go to this web page, this help page here, you can see, different examples of each, but like by text, they're going to want to see like, they don't want to see just text this word to this number. They want to see like why, why would people text that number? What are they texting for? What do they get back? And it's also critical that they want to see your terms of service and your private policy statement. Uh, you know, they want to see an image or a document with this. And these links, you can just, you know, you can, if those links are not on your website, for example, you can specify those links right here in the details. But they want to see that image, uploaded here. of what you're telling people, and then that's it, right? So as long as you have a valid form of opt-in, you can check this box that you agree to the terms of service and everything, and then you can, either save for draft or submit for review. When you submit for review, it will come to TextP2P, us, and we will review your information, make sure everything is filled out as correctly as correctly as we determine, right, that everything looks good. And you'll also immediately get a text message. That a text message will go to the authorized contact's phone number right here, for an ID verification, because we want to verify that you are a real person, that you are who you say you are, right? And you'll need to take a picture of yourself and your driver's license and upload that to the application. And once you do that, we will then submit your application if everything looks good to the carriers. If it doesn't look good, somebody will contact you by email or text and let you know what the issue is so that you can fix it. But when we submit it to the carriers, their approval process, we say right here, it could take, 1 to 2 weeks, but if you're doing a standard brand, it could take longer. I've seen those take as long as a month. So just be prepared that you're not allowed to do any texting until it's been approved by the carriers. Once it's approved, we will notify you by email and let you know. And then your daily volume will be set and you can start texting. Now, if it fails for any reason, we'll, of course, let you know that by email as well. And then you have 7 days on which to fix the problem and resubmit this form. If you don't do it within 7 days, then you go to the back of the queue, and that could mean that you have to wait another, several weeks for them to revalidate your form. So hopefully that makes sense. I've seen, especially with low volume and with sole proprietorship, in addition to the ID verification, that number of the contact will also get a uh, a text from the carriers to verify your number. So it will come from the campaign registry. It'll say, this is the campaign registry. Please respond with yes. So that's for sole proprietorship only, right? So that person, that authorized contact, needs to verify by replying yes to that number as soon as possible. Um, if you can give them a heads up before you submit, that would be good. Um, and then the ID verification text, it would be coming as well. But that it's possible that could come to the account holder as well. So just let us know if you run into any issues, if you need any help filling out the form, we're happy to help, but hopefully this clarifies things, makes things easier to understand for you. And again, this is, requirement across all platforms. It's required by the US cell phone carriers. AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, all of those guys have gotten together and said, this is the new mandate. There's no way around it. So thank you again. Have a good day.